The 2K Sports Pregame Show.
Here we are with Kenny the Jet Smith and the Big Diesel Shaquille O'Neal, Ernie Johnson. You're watching the NBA on 2K Sports. Tonight we'll see the Miami Heat playing against the San Antonio Spurs. Well, for San Antonio, they're just above 500 after their first 10 games, at 6-4 to be exact. They haven't set the world on fire, but there has been more good than bad, that's for sure. And guys, it's hard to believe that for a portion of his career, Hassan Whiteside was having a hard time getting minutes at all. He was even out of the league for a few years. What clicked for him to become the player he is today?
Well, I've talked to him personally, Ernie, and he understood that work and focus was all he needed to be in the NBA. He started playing to his strengths. Every now and then he does silly stuff. I'll call him and say, hey, straighten up. That's why he got the big contract, Ernie.
Yeah, there seem to be times when he's not exactly dialed in.
He's not dialed in, but he's a young player. But, you know, when I don't see him dialed in, then that's when I dial in and say, yo, man, you got to get dialed in.
And he takes your calls?
Oh, of course he does.
Well, you know, it's hard to get second chances in this league, but he's made the most of them. And when he's making the most of them, he's getting them SLNs. You know what that is.
Shaq-like numbers.
Without question.
That's what that meant. Wow.
Thanks, Kenny.
Thanks, Kenny.
That'll do it for now. We send you to Kevin Harlan, who's got the call.
Everyone is in their seat and buckled in at the American Airlines Arena as the Heat look to grab a win here in Miami. I'm Kevin Harlan, along with Greg Anthony and Brent Barry, our terrific analysts, and David Aldridge is our sideline reporter. Only one game away from San Antonio here. The Spurs will be back home for the next one. They've definitely started the season right with a hot start.
Yeah, and you know, for the Spurs, not a perfect start to the season, but they're in a position where all it takes is one modest winning streak to jump into that top spot.
They're lacking a little bit of fire so far this year, and we've seen that before. For a team of their caliber, it can be tough to maintain that intensity for each and every game in the early part of the going.
And the starting group for the Spurs. Murray and Green team up to make the backcourt. Aldridge is at the 4 with Gasol at the 5. And it's Anderson in at the 3 slot. Excellent D there from Waiters. On defense, San Antonio. They come into this having outplayed Phoenix the last game.
And I know the defense wasn't great, but yet and still, their ability to stay composed was impressive.
Well, it led to a big scoring effort, taking advantage of every weakness. So any possession the defense wasn't aggressive on, they were on the offensive end.
San Antonio with the ball.
And Pau Gasol, one of the most skilled 7-footers this league has ever seen. Whether it's the low post, high post, flaring off picks, you want the ball in his hands.
Now here's Green. A 14-point game for him in the win against Phoenix.
There's that 7'5" wingspan coming into play. Aldridge easily making that look inside.
Here's Dragic. He dishes it to Richardson. Richardson with the screen on Gasol. Gasol with the steal. He feeds it to Murray. Little over a minute 30 into this first quarter. Back to Gasol. Over Whiteside. And it's good off the back rim and in.
Finesse from Pau Gasol with his high release point to D. Pretty much useless there.
Here's Waiters. Here's the teardrop. Rejected by Gasol. Here's Green. That misses. Would have counted had it gone in.
Quick feet and active hands that time from Waiters. He affected the shot.
And so the first quarter is in the books. Spurs out in front, up by 4. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. Guys, what's your take on the Spurs so far?
I mean, through that first quarter, to me, it's all about their D.
There's a lot of ways to build a lead. This one's built on stops.
So many naturally born playmakers and natural-born scorers who have learned to become playmakers. That's kind of an interesting topic. Who do you think right now tops that list?
One guy that's pretty peculiar in that sense, I think, Kevin, is Jeff Teague. You know, so many years of success in Atlanta, but it was built around this team and the system and the fragility of what it was that those guys could do and needed to do for that team to win. I think that Jeff Teague has made himself into a much better playmaker in the NBA.
On the court for San Antonio here in the second. Mills and Manu at the guards. Then there's Rudy Gay. And there's Laverne. And it's Bertina's in at the power forward. Now here's Olynyk. Winslow kicks to Johnson. Ellington the pass to Johnson. 6 to shoot. Fires the 3. But they'll get another chance. Olynyk dishes to Johnson. Johnson kicks to Johnson. Johnson the screen. Feeds to Winslow. Pass to Johnson. Good ball movement here by Miami. Winslow kicks to Johnson. Those 3-pointers off the mark. San Antonio leading by 6. The pass to Laverne. Dishes it to Mills. The feed to Ginobili. Laverne passes to Ginobili. Lays it up off the glass.
Oh, there's a surprise. Manu out hustling somebody. Don't forget about him inside.
If they increase the tempo, they got a chance at a 2-for-1.
Yeah, and you're going to have to get up a quick shot to make that happen.
It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game. Screen by Olynyk. A steal. Here's Bertans. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Fires from deep.
Winslow with a stellar effort on defense there. That shot attempt was not easy.
And so it's the San Antonio Spurs holding on to an 8-point lead heading into the break. Their lead is where it is because they've gotten good shots. A lot of good shots. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Here with Coach Greg Popovich. Pop, what do you think was the key to having such a strong first half?
We played good D.
That was 4 words. Thanks, Pop. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, thank you. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime
Welcome
Show.
back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. A pretty close game for the Spurs throughout the first quarter. Their field goal percentage was a robust 50% in the period. That's something they can hang their hat on. Checking out the Spurs. And Shaq, what are your thoughts on how San Antonio played?
You got to like their offense efficiency. They were patient, took good shots. That was reflected in their high field goal percentage. They just need to keep playing smart in the second half and close this thing out. Don't get cute now.
And Kenny, what are your thoughts on Miami?
The lack of assists concern me. If you don't share the basketball, you will not succeed. The coaches have to demand it of their players. The players have to demand it of each other. The only way they're going to come back in this game is as a team.
And that will conclude our halftime presentation. We take you back to Kevin Harlan for the second half.
As we return to South Florida, a fantastic view of that famous stretch of sand, Miami Beach. And the third quarter about ready to get underway. Well, it was Miami winning their last game against the Clippers.
And anytime you come off the bench, you know your role. And that night, it was about scoring.
Well, good collective team unity. Everyone pitching in, so trying to win for one another. That's a good thing.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. On the floor for Miami, Dragic and Waiters, they're the backcourt. Whiteside is out there with White. And it's Richardson in at the small forward. Just 5 to shoot. Aldridge. The shot from the low post is good. Aldridge has got the lead up to 8 now for the Spurs.
Almost impossible to contain Aldridge on the pick and roll. As long as he makes that separation happen, he's going to knock it down.
Here's Dragic from outside. Gasol with the rebound. Down low. It's tipped. Anderson dishes to Aldridge. There's the basket and make it a double-digit lead. Aldridge has got 4 points in the quarter.
That makes it 10 of their last 12 coming from inside the paint.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game.
And LaMarcus Aldridge really possesses tremendous shooting touch when you consider this guy's basically a 7-footer, and he's increasing that range. Last season, up over 40% from 3.
And Aldridge doesn't shoot a ton of threes, yet he still earns his keep in that mid-range.
Yeah, on that left block, back to the basket, and with his size, that turnaround, Jay, is just about unstoppable.
And Miami making a change here. Johnson's checked in, and San Antonio with the change here too. Rudy Gay's checked in for Pau Gasol. Now here's Dragic. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. Johnson can't get it to go. Inside. Second shot opportunity, and it's laid in by Gay.
And it takes an arm heat to stop Gay when he's that deep. Love watching him finish over the contested arms of the D.
Here's Waiters. We've got 13 seconds left to play in the third. Right side a screen. And Waiters kicks to Dragic. Over Murray. Nice spin off the left rim and in. Dragic has got his first bucket of the night.
Got to respect the mid-range play of Goran Dragic right there. The left-handed point guard strokes it well.
And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Spurs lead by 10. Back after this from the American Airlines Arena. A chance now to hear Greg Popovich talking to his team just moments ago.
Nobody holds the ball, not even 1001. You catch it, it's a shot, it's a drive or pass, whatever you got.
Specific instructions from Greg Popovich. If you don't have a clean look, don't have an open lane, move the ball.
Yeah, and the key is fast decision-making, and that takes great recognition from all 5 guys in terms of communication. That's really what we call chemistry.
3 quarters in the books, folks. Glad to have you with us. Welcome back as we get going. On the court right now for the Spurs, they've got Anderson. Also Rudy Gay out there. Aldridge out there with Mills. And it's Forbes in at the 2 spot.
I don't think he even saw the defender. It didn't matter. Waiters up to the challenge.
Mills with it. Now guarded by Winslow. Right side Aldridge. And the Spurs scoring again.
Didn't have any problem knocking that one down. Another defensive lapse leading to 2 more.
They set the screen. Here's Dragic. And it's Miami with another.
And as Dragic went up on the jumper, he knew the defense was there still. Finds a way to knock that one in.
Spurs leading by 10.
And now as the clock ticks down, this is going to end up as a solid victory here for the Spurs.
The biggest factor tonight had to be their great shooting. They shot much better than the other team.
Yeah, they were working hard on both sides of the floor, but that sky-high field goal percentage plus the pressure defense to force the other team into a lot of misses. Love the effort tonight.
And now, for the year, this is going to take them to 7 wins.
And they've taken control of the season series. This brings them to 2-0 with 1 game left against this squad.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for Aldridge.
There wasn't much they could do to slow him down as he was converting every good chance he got.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Forbes, the pass to Anderson. Aldridge sets up the pick now for Gay. Aldridge dishes to Gay. Anderson outside. And so it's San Antonio with the win. And in the win, a comfortable win in what was, I think, a pretty hostile environment.
It really was. You know, it's never going to be easy on the road, but they didn't have too many problems with that tonight.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much. Well, Marcus, your game has evolved. You started as a finesse player, and now you have a lot more inside aggression. How did you get more comfortable down low?
It just takes time. You know, I got stronger every year, got better every year. You know, when I was younger, I wasn't strong, but now I'm much stronger. I'm much older now.
And a veteran who gets it done. Thank you, LaMarcus. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. And that about wraps it up. So for David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, Brent Barry, and the whole 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for being with us. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.